Welcome to Treasure Island. Robert Louis Stevenson's tale of maps and mutiny has captured imaginations for over a century. But beneath the adventure lies something quieter. A story about growing up and about the strange pull that distant places have on the restless heart. There is something about old maps that stirs the imagination. The faded ink, the careful markings, the suggestion that somewhere beyond the edge of what we know, there might be something worth finding. We have all felt it, that pull toward the horizon, the suspicion that life might be larger somewhere else. We have all felt it, that pull toward the horizon, the suspicion that life might be larger somewhere else. Until one winter afternoon when a stranger arrives. The stranger is an old sailor, weather-beaten and secretive. He calls himself the captain, though what ship he once commanded he never says. He pays for his room and asks only to be left alone, spending his days watching the road and the sea with equal suspicion. Jim finds him fascinating and frightening in equal measure. The captain drinks too much and sings old sea songs at night. He warns Jim to watch for a one-legged man, though he never explains why. There is a sea chest in his room that he guards jealously. And then, one evening, the captain's past catches up with him. Men come looking. There is a confrontation, and when it is over, the old sailor lies still. In the aftermath, Jim and his mother open the chest. Among the captain's belongings, they find a packet wrapped in oilcloth. Inside is a map. The map shows an island. There are bearings, landmarks, careful notations in a cramped hand. And in one corner, 3 red crosses mark the spots where treasure lies buried. Not just any treasure, the plunder of a notorious pirate captain, hidden years ago and never recovered. Jim brings the map to the local squire, a good-natured man named Trelawney, and to Dr. Livesey, the village physician. Both are immediately captivated. Within weeks, a ship is purchased, a crew is hired, and preparations are made for a voyage to a distant island that appears on no ordinary chart. Jim is to go along. His mother protests, but the adventure is too large to refuse. He is young, and the world is calling. The ship is called the Hispaniola. She is sound and well-fitted, and on a bright morning she sets sail from Bristol with the tide. For Jim, everything is new. The creak of the rigging, the smell of salt and tar, the way the deck moves beneath his feet. He learns the names of things, watches the sailors at their work, and feels the inn falling away behind him like a dream. The cook aboard is a man named Long John Silver. He has one leg and moves about the galley on a crutch with surprising ease. He is friendly, competent, and unfailingly helpful. The crew respect him. The officers trust him. Jim, who was warned to beware of one-legged men, finds himself liking Silver despite everything. That is the thing about Long John Silver. Everyone likes him. That is what makes him dangerous. One night, unable to sleep, Jim climbs into an apple barrel on deck to take one of the last apples. He is hidden there when Silver and some of the crew gather nearby. They do not know he is listening, and what Jim hears changes everything. The friendly cook, the man everyone trusts, is the leader of a mutiny that has not yet begun. Jim stays hidden until they disperse, his heart pounding. He finds Dr. Livesey and tells him everything. The voyage has become something else entirely, a journey where you cannot be sure who to trust. The island, when they reach it, is beautiful and unsettling. Forested hills rise from white beaches. Strange birds call from the trees. The air is heavy and sweet, but there is something watchful about it, something that makes the men uneasy. Perhaps it is only the knowledge of what is hidden here and what is about to happen. In the woods, he encounters a strange figure, a man named Ben Gunn, marooned on the island years ago and half mad from solitude. Ben knows the island's secrets. He has had 3 years with nothing to do but learn them. What follows is a kind of quiet war. The honest men, the squire, the doctor, the captain, and a handful of loyal crew take refuge in an old stockade on the island. Silver and his followers control the ship. Each side watches the other, waiting. There are negotiations. There are skirmishes. Men are lost on both sides, though Stevenson draws a veil over the worst of it, as we shall too. What matters is not the fighting, but the atmosphere. The sense of being stranded far from home, surrounded by people whose intentions you cannot fully know. Jim moves between these worlds. He is still a boy, but he is learning quickly. He makes reckless choices, brave ones, foolish ones. He cuts the ship adrift to keep it from the pirates. He nearly loses his life more than once. But he survives, and in surviving, he grows. Long John Silver remains the story's most complicated figure. He is a villain, certainly, a man who would betray his employers and abandon his companions without remorse. But he is also charming, intelligent, and strangely protective of Jim. Their relationship is the heart of the book. Silver sees something in the boy. Perhaps he sees himself, young and hungry for the world. Perhaps he simply recognizes that Jim might be useful. Whatever the reason, he keeps Jim alive when others would not have. And Jim, despite everything, cannot bring himself to hate Silver entirely. The world, he is learning, is not divided neatly into good and evil. The treasure, when it is finally found, is something of an anticlimax. Ben Gunn, the marooned man, discovered it long ago and moved it to a cave. The pirates dig in the wrong place and find only an empty hole. The honest men, guided by Ben, claim the gold without a final confrontation. They load the treasure onto the ship. Silver, ever the survivor, manages to escape before they sail, taking a portion of the gold with him. He vanishes from the story as he entered it, a mystery, unpunished but unforgotten. The Hispaniola sets sail for home. The island shrinks behind them until it is just a shape on the horizon, then nothing at all. Jim returns to England a different person than the boy who left. He has seen death and duplicity. He has learned that brave men can be foolish and that charming men can be treacherous. He has discovered something about himself, a capacity for action, for risk, for making choices when the stakes are real. The treasure is divided. The squire and doctor return to their comfortable lives. Captain Smollett retires from the sea. And Jim? He tells us that nothing could bring him back to that island. He still dreams of it sometimes, the surf on the beach, the parrot's voice crying out for pieces of 8, but he has no wish to return. Some journeys, once taken, do not need to be repeated. Treasure Island endures because it captures something true about growing up. The world seems simple when we are young, heroes and villains, right and wrong. Then we venture out, and we discover that people are more complicated than we thought, that the ones who help us may have their own reasons, that courage and foolishness often look alike. Perhaps that is the real treasure, not the gold in the cave, but the understanding that comes from leaving home and finding your way back. Treasure Island. Thank you for listening.